Hey everyone, my name's Calvin and welcome to my video tutorial for Tropical Paradise Mandala Creator. In this tutorial, we're going to use these hand-drawn elements to make two different designs. So in the first part of the tutorial, we're going to use the four-sided template to make this sort of square illustration with the text in the middle. And then in the second part of the tutorial, I'll go through the five-sided template and how to make a kind of a wreath illustration with that bird there in the middle. So to get started, the first thing you want to do is download that folder and then unzip it. And inside there's going to be these two major folders and a README. And this README will have my email address just in case you have any questions. It'll have links to this video and then a little bit more about this add-on in general. So in the first folder here, that's got the elements. So we'll go ahead and open up all the elements. So I'll go in there and I'll just select all these three AI files and drag them in. And this add-on works fine with CS5 and CS6. But I'm going to demonstrate it today in Creative Cloud, and that's because my screen recording software doesn't work so well with these other versions of Illustrator. But this add-on works fine with all those versions. So once the elements are loaded, they're going to look like this. So these are the leaves, and then if I tab over here to this other document, these are the flowers, and then this last one here, these are the animals that are included. So these work with the templates. So in this first part, we're going to use the four-sided template, so I'll go ahead and open that one up. So I'll go back to that folder, and the templates are going to be in the second one here. And it comes with two-sided, four-sided, five-sided, and six-sided templates, along with the corresponding scripts, and I'll show you how to load those in a minute. But in this tutorial, I'm just going to show you how to use the five-sided one and the four-sided one. But I think once you see that, you'll get an idea of how to use the two-sided one and the six-sided one. So we'll start with the four-sided, and I'll just drag this one in. Make sure you drag in the template and not the action. Otherwise, Illustrator will either throw an error or it'll open a document with just a black square or something. So make sure you drag in the template first. So I'll just drag that in. And in Illustrator, you can't just drag a document into a document. It's best to drag it over here as a new tab. And this is what the template looks like. Anything you place in this square is going to get rotated around, and then the end result is going to be put over here, and then your original input is going to be placed back here again. So just in case you wanted to make some tweaks to it, delete the output and then run it again and see how that looks. So this template works with the four-sided actions, and the only way to open the actions is from within the Actions panel. So go to Window and then Actions. And these are some actions from another project. If you see anything here, no matter what it looks like, just go ahead and clear it. Just like that. And then you can load actions by going to the same menu, load actions, and then navigate to that folder. So they're going to be in the reflecting templates and actions folder. And since we've got the four-sided template, we're going to run the four-sided actions. So I'll double click on that. And I'm using Windows, but this add-on works fine in OS X or Mac or anything like that. So these are the scripts, and they're all pretty self-explanatory. Most of them are nothing that special. They're just shortcuts to stuff up here in the menus or keystrokes. They're just trying to make your workflow a little bit faster. After using these templates, I found there were a lot of keystrokes and commands and stuff that I was using, so I made them as little shortcuts here. And these scripts will run if something is selected and you just click on it. But if it doesn't look like this, if when you load the actions it doesn't look colored, they're just gray buttons, make sure button mode is on, so you can go to the menu and verify that. So if it looks like this, this is too hard to use. You have to use this Done Play button down here. So I really recommend that you turn on button mode, and then you just select your thing, press the button, and it will run the script. So I'll start by showing you how to make a basic design and how to use these scripts down here at the bottom. These are the main scripts for this template. So I'll choose something from the leaves, for example. I think maybe this one. And I'll go ahead and I'll copy it, use the keystroke, but there's also a little command here. So copy, and then back here, and I'll do paste. Line that up on the template. And I'll pick one more thing. I think actually a flower or something. How about this one? Copy, and then paste it here. And I'll zoom in. And I've got some scripts for scaling, so you can grow your thing or shrink it. This is just a quick way to do it, kind of incrementally. And then you can arrange your design, and once you're happy with it, you'll run one of these scripts, and they both do something very similar, but that is sort of fundamentally different in one way, and it's how it reflects them. So I'll grow this a little bit. And just for example, I'll line that one there, and I'll run the first one. This is copy and reflect. So what this is going to do is it's going to copy and then reflect over each axis. So your end result is like mirrored, 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 like that. The copy and rotate will just rotate it and then place it again, rotate it and place it again. So kind of you get this kind of spiral thing going. So this is what the reflecting one does. I'll delete that, and I'll run the copy and rotate one. So this is just a little bit different, and you can see how that one works too. It just it copied it and then rotated it 90 degrees, I guess, 90 degrees, 90 degrees, and it just depends on your project and what you're trying to do. I think you'll find both of them have a nice look in the end result, but they'll require a little bit different planning and how you lay out your designs to use those best. So for this one, I'm just going to place a bunch of different elements on this, and I'm going to use the copy and rotate one. And I'll fast forward it to save time, but you'll get a kind of a fast forward look at how I arrange this design segment, and then at the very end, when I'm happy with it, I'll run this script and show you how to add some text there in the middle. So I'm pretty much finished here. I'm pretty happy with this. You might have noticed that I'm able to move things sort of forward and backwards. And this is just a basic thing that Illustrator has up here in Object and Arrange. But I made a shortcut for that. So for example, if you want to move this to the front, just use this little shortcut here, move to front. And now it's going to be on top of that flower. If you want to send it back there, just say move to back. But this is done. I'm happy with this arrangement. And I'll run this last script here to see what it looks like. So I'm pretty happy with this design. So it's all grouped. So I'll just select it and then I'll copy it and I'll make a new document here. So File, New. And I want it to be square. I think 1,000 pixels is probably fine. Depends on your project. I'll paste it in and scale it up to fit this artboard a little bit better. Okay, I'm happy with that. And I'll just add some text here in the middle. And you might notice that parts of your design, you might want to change something or rotate something. So it's grouped, so it all selects when you just select one part. But you can ungroup it by going to Object, Ungroup. And for example, we can send this leaf all the way to the back. So right now it's in front of that. So I can just select this individually and then do Move to Back. And now it's going to appear back there. And I'll look and see if anything else I might want to change. That all looks good. Okay, so I'll actually just adjust these a little bit. And maybe to add a little bit, so make it your design like a little bit less regular. You might rotate some elements just a little bit. Depends on your project though. So I'm happy with this, and I'll use the text tool to add some text in the middle. And I'm going to use a typeface called Ravenna, I think. And I'll just do, how about something cool like Explore Your World. Here we go. A little bit small, scale it up. And give it a little center paragraph alignment here. So I'll go to the paragraph tool, select that one. Just kind of line that up in the middle, and I'll go to my Ravenna. And I like Ravenna because it has a font that's sort of hollow. There it is. There we go. Shrink that just a little bit. That's pretty cool. And these lines are a little bit thick. These are a little bit thin. So what you can do is make the text lines just a little bit thicker. So you can go over here and give it actually a black stroke. So go to the little stroke thing here. Select black. And you can give it a 1-point stroke. Or I think it's probably going to look better with a 0.7 point stroke there. And there we go. That would be done. And you would just export this like any other thing in Illustrator, just using the Save for Web dialog. So you'd go to File, Save for Web, and if you're including this in a coloring book, it's generally recommended that you save it as a PNG, and this is for compression reasons. But if you're just making a coloring book like for CreateSpace or something, you should probably save it as a PNG. it should probably be 2500 pixels square at least. And then the fact that there's some white and some white fills in here, it doesn't matter. The reason it's being saved as a transparent PNG isn't actually have anything to do with the transparent aspect. It's just a compression aspect. So then you just save this to your desktop and then include it in your coloring book submission PDF file. So this one's done. And next I'm going to move on to the 5-sided template. I'm going to totally start over, and we're going to use the 5-sided template to create a kind of a wreath mandala with that parrot in the middle. So I've gone ahead and closed that other Illustrator document and that other 4-sided template, and we'll open the 5-sided template by dragging it in. So just go in the second folder there and drag in the 5-sided template. Make sure it's the template and file and not the actions one. So drag that in. Here we go. Up here as a new tab. And I left the elements, those 3 other documents with the hand-drawn elements, I left those open. And the 5-sided template looks like this. I'll zoom in here. And anything you place in this kind of pie slice of guides here is going to get reflected around 5 times. Same thing. It's going to get moved over here, and then your original layout is going to appear back here again, just in case you want to make some fine adjustments. So it needs the action scripts for the 5-sided one. So if I open the actions again, it's going to remember the 4-sided actions. So that's one mistake you could make. If you try to run the 4-sided actions in the 5-sided template, it's going to totally freak out. So make sure you clear those. So go to the little corner menu here, and then clear actions, and then load actions. And it'll remember the last folder we were in. So just grab the 5-sided actions. And they look just like the 4-sided one, except in this case it only has one sort of rotating style. It doesn't have the reflecting one. This one can't do that because it's 5-sided. So you can only do the reflection on the even-sided templates. So this will work the same way. I'll just demonstrate it here real quick, and then I'll do the kind of fast-forward segment build here. So let's grab, how about, I really like these monstera leaves, so I'll grab that one, and I'll copy it and paste it in. I can rotate it, and I've included a rotate script as well. And this will just kind of rotate it a tiny bit. Line it up there. And when I run this last script here, you'll see it just copies it and then rotates it, copies and rotates it. I think that's like 60 degrees or something. I can't exactly remember. But anyways, the end result looks like this. And your design process is going to be really similar to the 4-sided template, but you have actually a little bit less room. Whereas the 4-sided template had this full 1/4. This is just 1/5 of a design, a little bit smaller. So it might be better to include a little bit less elements. But I'll fast forward it now and build something here, and then get back to you and show you how I'm going to use this copy and rotate script and how I'm going to add that little bird in the middle. Okay, so I think I'm pretty happy with this arrangement, and I'll just run that script. And this is getting a little bit dense. These designs are getting a little bit close together, a little bit dark, but it just depends on the size of the page in your coloring book. But I'm happy with this arrangement here. I just want to put a little bird in the middle. So I'll go over to the hand illustrated animals drawings here, and I'll pick one. I think I really like this parrot, so I'll select that and copy it and paste it right in the middle. And it's going to appear in the front, so I'm going to send it to the back here, move to back. And I'll tilt him just a little bit. Maybe try growing it. There we go. Okay. I'm happy with that. And I'll do the same thing as I did with the other one. I'm going to select all this. I'll do copy. I'll make a new document, 1000 pixels by 1000 pixels, and paste it in there. And I recommend the new document because the template has that checkerboard pattern and all those guides and stuff. I think it's just generally better to export it from a totally different document. Then you can save those individually, and it's not just super large file with all these random mandalas. It'll keep everything a little bit more organized. So this looks pretty good. And you just do the same thing, just use the Save for Web dialog. And PNG is fine, especially if you're using CreateSpace. Don't worry about the white. And 2500 pixels square is pretty good for an 8.5 inch by 8.5 inch coloring book. So then you just save this to your desktop and then include it in your PDF submission for the coloring book. So that's pretty much it. I hope this gives you a pretty good overview of how you can use this add-on to create some cool illustrations. If you have any questions or comments, just leave a comment below, but it's probably better to send me an email and I can respond to that probably within 12 hours. You'll have a response. But other than that, guys, thanks for your support and thanks for watching.